say that there's been no discrepancies. But let me respond firstly to the initial comments of my brother Ablakwa about the Speaker blacklisting Ministry of Finance because we failed to appear on time. Let me say that this has not been deliberate. And sometimes when, if you are the finance minister, he has been a deputy minister before, he knows the workload and the schedules. Sometimes when Parliament write to you based on their timetable, it may conflict with your own timetable, and the finance ministry is not the only ministry that has asked for more time to be able to appear. And so this is one of the reasons. It is never to spite Parliament, and we have nothing to hide.
All right.
But the good thing and the good news is that the finance minister, Honorable Kenneth Oriata, did not provide any new information about COVID expenditure. Every figure we put out there was already with Parliament. Every accounting we did in that statement is not a new expenditure. It's something we have already accounted for in various budgets and mid-year budget review, and that is what we put together in that statement. And I'm also happy when you corrected Honorable Ablakwa's attempt to say that the first deputy speaker threw away a probe, and that is synonymous with making a statement in Parliament. And I know that my senior lawyer Martin tried to assist by saying that when lawyers make mistakes with their emotions, the judge is able to correct. But you see, they are not the same. Judges sit both in law and equity, and sometimes when they see the justice of the matter, they are able to make corrections. If you are a Speaker of Parliament, you're only working with the standing orders, with the laws and conventions of the House. You cannot replace somebody's emotion with a statement or question. So please, this is the difference. Honorable Ablakwa is supposed to know that it is not possible if you file a motion. It's not the same as asking for a statement on a matter. And I want to clearly state that
please proceed proceed to the issue of the 17 billion versus the 12 billion.
Let me just go straight to that one. In terms of consistency and honesty, the finance minister has been consistent, and with these figures, the ranking member on finance on the NDC side, Hon. Atto Forson, in his contribution to the statement, said that the finance minister has been consistent, and that shows his honesty to these figures. First of all, the issue about the 8 billion and 12 billion, it has been clearly explained in the statement. In 2020, in the 2020 budget, an allocation of 15 billion cedis was made for COVID-19, out of which the actual expenditure was, an allocation of 11.1 billion cedis was allocated, out of which 8.1 billion was spent. And this is on actual COVID expenditure. And when you come to 2021, another 4 billion allocation was made, and actual expenditure was 3.9. So when you add the 3.9 plus the 8.1 from the previous year, that is when you get 12 billion out of the 15 billion allocation. So the Honorable Ablakwa has to appreciate the difference between allocation and actual expenditures. So there is no conflict there. We, in the 2 years, wanted to spend 12 billion. That's allocation. But the actual, the money that was actually expended was the 12 billion. And so that's the difference. The issue about the school reopening, he says that one figure says 1.1 billion, another figure says 1.9 billion. In this case, it was the same thing. There was an allocation of 1.9 billion. The actual expenditures was 1.1 billion.
John, just a second. Please read it out. Okudzeto wants to point something out to you.
I'm not talking about allocations. If you read page 274 of your own 2021 budget, which we approved, utilization is provided as 18.1 billion, not 8.1 billion. So
no, it's not utilized. That's the mistake you are making.
No.
That page you have referred to. Please relax. Those are. Let me, if I could continue.
Utilization.
Yeah. But John,
the allocation column is different. Yeah. The allocation column is different. The allocation was 19.3 billion.
And this is
not the allocation. That is not the allocation.
Page 274.
18.1 billion.
Yes, please. No. The 19 billion you are seeing there is not allocation. The 19, read the topic, you see revenue mobilization. That is the funds that came in as a
No, I'm referring to Appendix 12B, performance summary of funding sources.
Please, what is the head?
Allocated amount. Allocated amount. 19.3
It's not allocated amount.
No, that's what you have here. You can read
it.
Let the camera capture this. Please proceed.
The 19.3 billion you are seeing there were revenues we received, out of which we spent 18.3, the figure you are seeing there. So those are different things. And I think we announced in the 2021 budget the gap that came in the 2020 budget, where our revenue went down. Yes, I want to see the heading there. Please read the entire thing that we have put there.
So
there's nothing like allocated amount. Read the top, the entire expression.
Allocated amount. Is there? Allocated amount, 19.3.
No, but this is longer than allocated. Unfortunately, I'm not carrying my
it's Appendix 12B. Performance summary of funding sources.
Thank you.
But under that, you have funding source, program supported, and allocated amount.
Yeah. Exactly.
But then you have utilization.
To allocated amount. Please.
No, because you are saying that the 18.1 is not the utilization, but that is in the column of the utilization.
Oh, my brother. You see, your problem is your lack of appreciation of what is before you. It is not the figures.
I take strong exception to that. This is your own budget document.
Yes, but you are misreading it. That's the problem.
So tell us what it means. You have put allocation there. You have put utilization under a different column.
But Ablakwa, when you were speaking, I was here. I listened to you. I'm saying you are misreading the document before you. That is not it. This is the summary of how much came in and how we expended it. It's not allocated amount. It is not so. You are misreading it. So back to what I'm saying. I'm saying that in the 2021 budget, we told the country that we had a revenue shortfall in 2020. We had a revenue fall of 11.6 billion, okay, because of the lockdown that we experienced. And then there was an unbudgeted expenditure of about 13.6 billion, which added up to about 25.5. I may not be correct in terms of the specific figures, but the total was 25.5 billion, which was the deficit gap that came in that particular year that Ghana needed to raise money to fill it. This is where the two figures that Ablakwa refers to as Appendix 4B and Appendix 4C. Okay, so we needed to look both internally and externally to look at how best we have to raise about 25.5 billion because of COVID. But there's difference between the monies you have raised because there's a COVID problem and how much you have spent on COVID itself. So the accounting we did was on the COVID expenditure proper. So some places, when you add the 8 billion plus the 4 billion, the 3.9 billion, you're going to get 12 billion as the actual expenditures that went in the name of COVID. And when we say that in the name of COVID, it means we are talking about the frontline workers, the vaccines we have to purchase, the PPP or the PPEs, the sanitizers, those direct COVID expenditures. That is what amounted to the 12 billion. But beyond that, still because of COVID, we needed to support the budget because revenues were not coming. And so some of the loans that we contracted, some of the support that came in, which is the summary as given in page 274, okay, it came in to support the budget. And the figures he's talking about, it was the finance minister who put them out. So how do you stand on his figures, which he has brought before Parliament, to tell him that he's lying or he's not disclosing, he's not doing full disclosure to you, when he has put it before you in Parliament? So the basis of the claim that we haven't done full accounting and there's inconsistency is not true. The problem is their misreading and misinterpretation of various figures. When it's supposed to be allocation, they take it for actual. When it is actual expenditure, they take it for allocation.
Nobody has done
but that's what you are doing.
Nobody has done
and that's why
document. Why don't you have your own document before you?
Please. when you were talking, I was listening. The ranking member on the NDC side, who understands and appreciates these figures, was the first to commend the finance minister for his consistency.
It's not true.
Because he appreciates that everything he's saying is what he has already put before Parliament. And there was nothing new, okay, that he is hiding. So clearly, I just want to re-emphasize the point that we have nothing to hide when it comes to accountability. In fact, we believe strongly that for us to preserve our democracy, for us as a government to keep the trust of the people, we must account for every penny and pesewa that comes to us for and on behalf of the people. And that's exactly what we have done.
Okay.
The issue about the private funds that were not accounted for, that is a question of law. And even if we needed to go and get all the data to add to the finance minister for his report, it could have delayed further. Already, the propaganda is that he's running away from Parliament. And these are not funds in the consolidated funds. These are funds that have been set aside with board of trustees to manage them. And I'm happy that the Speaker has referred this matter to the two committees of Parliament to further engage.
Great.
So we can invite the managers and governors of those private funds to also come and account.
All right.